What's up, Well family? We are so excited to have you here for episode 3 of The Well. You know we are having holistic and realistic conversations about modern Christianity with your favorite young adults. This is our Friendsgiving special. We have a new face, which we'll introduce shortly, but you know we're giving it to you the week of Thanksgiving, and we're super excited. The question for today, ladies and gents, to start it off, because this is part 2 of our dating series, and if you were with us 2 weeks ago, then you know it got spicy, so we have a lot to cover. But you're gonna say your name, you know, give a little hate to the people, and I want you to say, what age did you think when you were younger that you were gonna get married, and do you still have a number now, if you are not currently married? So, Marcus.
Okay, so my name is Marcus Pilgrim. I am a member of Zion Anywhere campus. When I was younger, I thought that like, oh, I'm gonna get married at like 23, 24. I'm 28 now, and I don't put a number on things. I just think that God is going to bless me when the time is right. So there's not an age that I could really say on that, but when the time is right, you know what I'm saying? I'll check back in with you and let you know. Yeah.
Screaming.
Hi, Willie, welcome.
Hey. So my name is Willie. I think I thought that I was going to get married around 25, and I did get married when I was 25.
Yes, you did.
I'm screaming. Okay, screaming, it's me. So I'm Julia Sims, and I definitely thought I was going to be married when I was 23. But I'm 25 now. So clearly my timeline was off. Yeah, that's it. Austin.
Peace and love to all the people. My name is Austin Ezra Clark. I greet y'all, man. I hope y'all are doing great. For me, I didn't think about like marriage a whole lot when I was younger, so I didn't have no number. Now, you know, I want to get married, you know, in the relative future. I like the idea of getting married, you know, younger. So yeah, it's really all about like God's time and how everything works out. So it's for me.
Oh, I forgot the second part.
What's the second part?
I didn't say if I still believe in numbers now.
Do you still believe in numbers?
Well, I didn't believe in the number that I put because it didn't happen. But no, I don't believe in numbers now because I just think when the right time comes, the right time comes. And at 23, I don't think I was ready to be nobody's wife. Not that I wouldn't have been an awesome wife, but it's just like I was still getting myself together. So like, I would have been my child's husband or vice versa. So like.
That's the growth.
Yeah, like, oh wait, did I say it right? I would have been my husband's child, or my husband would have been my child. Because like, think about it, like, I was still in college at 23. Like, I was still developing, I didn't have no full-time, I wasn't ready to do any of that, so it just depends on where my life is. Not like I'm planning it out, but I do want to be like, prepared to be that person for my spouse when the time comes.
I love it. So as y'all know, I'm the other Julia C. I definitely thought, I think like every girl's number is like 25, like that 24, 25. I will be 28 next year.
Oh, it's the hand for me. It's the hand for me.
No, but honestly, like now, I think that I truly believe, especially with everything that's happened recently in my life, that God is going to send me the right man, and I won't have to. I just know, and the time will be because God already has like written everything in our lives, right? He knows when it's going to happen, so it's going to happen when it's going to happen. And I don't really necessarily have a number. I think only thing that I would have a number on is like children, but that's from a biological standpoint.
Oh yeah,
and like
same.
as a woman, you know, just wanting to be at my best. So if you haven't figured it out, as we said before, this is dating part 2. So today we're focusing on monogamous relationships, like, you know, past the talking, past the dating, and how we court and move from, you know, I'm your girlfriend, your boyfriend, to your fiance, to your husband or wife. Special thing today, guys. If you've been with us for the last 2 episodes, you know that Sims snorts. And today we have a contest. So we are gonna have a snort counter on this episode.
I am screaming so
okay?
much.
And I want you right now in the chat to put a guess. How many times do you think Sims is gonna snort? At the end, we will reveal the final count, and whoever is close without going over, you will get a gift card. We'll get your information from you in the chat with our chat host. So snort time is on. But so let's talk about it. Let's just jump right into it. Like, so how do you all feel like you move from dating to monogamous relationships, to the boyfriend, the girlfriend? How do you traverse that?
I think, yeah, wow.
I'm looking at him like,
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a big part about, and we were talking about it before we started recording today, but like the friendship aspect, dating, like going from dating and sometimes, and this is another thing too. Let's go to like, what is dating in 2020? Because speaking of, we say, oh yeah, no, I'm dating, or we're dating, or we talk. Like, what does that mean? Like, what does all this mean? Like,
So let's define the terms.
is that exclusive? And it means different things for different people. So you could meet someone new and say, oh, we're dating. And on their end, they're thinking it's exclusive. On your end, you're just
Yeah.
like, oh, well, I'm dating.
You're number 3 in the queue.
I'm number 3 in the queue.
Exactly.
Stop. That's funny as a mug. I've never heard of that.
No snort?
I'm screaming. Stop.
I was waiting on that joint too. I was waiting on it. I was like, all
I
right.
thought we had more folks. You keep guessing though.
So I'm just like, what is dating? And like, I want to know, like, to you all, what is dating before we get to moving to the relationship? Like, what does that look like? How do you do that? Because I'm like, for me, I don't like going on multiple dates with different women, and it's just confusing, and it's just like, if this don't work, okay, just don't work, then on to the next. But like,
So you like to go one at a time?
yeah, because
You
I
don't
just
like do buffet style?
No,
Buffet
because
style.
I don't want to.
What's that joint? Golden Corral?
I would feel bad. I would honestly feel bad if I'm sitting up there, and I feel like I can't truly get to know somebody if I'm like.
Talking
I'm
to a
like
bunch of
trying to
people.
talk to you and like get to know you and like, oh, I'm interested in you, but oh, 1 second, on my other line, hey.
Hold on, you know what I just thought about? Hold on, I'm about to shoot.
You-
Who's that?
no, that wasn't that. But the biggest thing is like,
Number she in the queue.
what does dating look like for you all? Like, how do you know? How do you know when it's exclusive?
I'm screaming.
How do you call it dating? Do y'all use the term talking? Like, is that a thing? What, I don't.
I'm screaming. I mean, okay, I'll go. Screams. So, talking to me is when you're like, you and the other person have decided that you're both interested in one another, but you're still trying to decide if you want to get to the next step of like, no, actually, talking is trying to figure out, like, you're talking to them, but you're not at the stage where you're like, we're dating yet. So you're still figuring them out, like, you're interested. It's the interested level. So talking in my head and with anybody I've been talking to, you have full-on right to talk to other people. So that's the talking stage. We're figuring out if we want to date. And dating to me is more, and you have talking like exclusively. So you got talking. Dang, I really gotta like break this out.
see how,
You gotta break this out. So where am I?
need
I'm
like
looking
a
here.
whiteboard.
Okay, so you got talking and you got talking exclusively. So
Okay.
talking is we're both interested. Talking exclusively is, you're not talking to other people no more. We're
So is that
talking.
dating?
No, because dating to me, dating to me is we're together. We're boyfriend and girlfriend. I'm not dating like we're going on a date. Like, I don't do that. Like,
See, like, but this the way I look at it.
But other
Like,
people look at it as like dating is you're going out, but that's like
Exactly.
dating. You're my partner now.
I think it's like,
is
but
it a verb or a
dating was a
classification?
verb, and not a
Ooh.
classification.
Right? So it sounds
Yeah.
like dating, you can either make it a verb, like this is what we're
doing. I feel like it's kind of like talking is like
This is too
tryouts.
much.
Like,
see?
I'm already trained.
No, but like I feel like talking is like if we put it.
So that's who you are.
Yeah, it's actually 3 of them.
Oh wait, we're giving it
Oh,
away.
sorry.
Wow.
No more counts.
Well, they already put their bids in earlier.
They did. You're
It
right.
doesn't matter.
Keep counting.
It doesn't matter.
Keep on guessing, folks.
I'm screaming. I want to start over. I don't think I said it right. Don't scratch what I said. I'm gonna tell you when I put my final bid in on what I think.
So what I think is like, I think if we think about it like, let's use a sports analogy because Marcus knows.
Oh,
those.
here we go.
I heard.
Say
And
no.
I'll tell you,
So if you're trying to get on the team,
I'm
right?
screaming.
Think of it like, you got your tryouts, and that's when everybody comes out.
I love
Okay.
it. This is
Right?
a good
But
reference.
then you
See,
got,
see,
that's
see.
talking to me.
Okay,
Then you
come
got cut day, you got first cuts.
Okay.
Okay,
Some- everybody can't go. Everybody can't go. Some of them gotta
But
go.
even after first cut, everybody's not on the team.
Very much so. After the first cut.
I'm sorry, y'all. I feel like today because we're counting our stories.
No, because Marcus said You gotta go.
So after the first cuts, what's
Like
happening
after
after that?
I feel like that's dating.
Okay.
Like now I'm
That's a
seeing
what?
you've
Dating.
shown some potential. I saw your footwork. You went through your drills.
It's the
Like
footwork
you
for me.
caught a couple of passes.
So
now
we
I
doing
gotta try
football
you out for a
analogies.
spot. Cause like
But what about blocking
I
though?
don't know what sport this is.
now here's the thing. This is when you gotta get aggressive because even
Ooh.
still after first cuts, you know there are other people that could take your spot. Like it's
This is
you're
too
closer
much.
to
So
it.
this is summer training camp is what you're talking about.
Basically.
People trying to make the team.
NFL combine. So, but after that, after first cuts, maybe depending on how many people we were talking to, like me, I don't have the mental capacity for it.
This
Like,
tryouts just threw me already. Who's the coach?
but
Am I the coach? It's too much.
You're the owner.
Yeah, I'm the
of
owner. Cause it
team.
sounds. Yeah, I'm the owner. Cause
Yes.
I'm not
But
giving
then
somebody
after
else's.
your cuts, right? You get
I'm
down
doing
to
all
that, like,
stages, though, if I'm
that
doing it like
second
this.
cut, or depending on, and that
Thought you was a
depends.
quarterback.
But then
Somebody bring me the best options.
But that happens after second
She needs
cut.
a recruiter.
Because you're a recruiter, and your recruiters are your friends.
friends.
I'm
They have to give you
the
some good
No, but I
friends.
have to recruit because no.
Your friends don't know you enough to recruit
No,
for you?
but
Because I
I-
can send my good
So
sisters
hold on,
out.
I'm confused. After what happened
They gonna be
after
picking for
cuts
them,
and this,
not
that, and the
me.
third?
They
Like
gonna be thinking about
I heard, like,
themselves.
was there?
Listen, hold on. I think this is
We're
going
getting
way
off
too.
track. Let's make it a one simple. Let's make it a one simple answer for the folks. What is talking and what is dating?
I feel like
Period.
talking is I'm getting to know you. Dating is I have gotten to know you enough to where I'm interested to see if this can move into a relationship, and then the relationship is girlfriend boyfriend.
This is the way- this is the way I look at it.
Agreement
This
with
is the way I
that.
look
Tryouts,
at it.
first cuts,
It's
team.
like this. You meet somebody and you're interested in them, they interested in you. And
Talking.
then you say, hey, look, let's go do X, Y, Z.
Dating.
You go do X, Y, Z with them. Maybe you go get some food. Maybe you go hang out. And y'all are in communication. At that point in time, right, in this scenario, that's the only type of contact. You've went out and you've been communicating. So whether or not the person that she's with, or whether or not the people that she's talking to, that's her business. The people that you're talking to, that's your business. But then it comes a certain point in time when you basically say, hey, look, I'm interested in you. I want to see if we can take this to the next level.
Relationship.
Right? And then at that point in time, you're in a relationship. And you
Right,
can find
right,
the term.
yeah.
And it's that simple. It ain't got to be like, unless it's specified, unless that is verbalized, I don't think that this whole talking, dating, it's just a word. Some people say courting, dating. Until you verbalize,
But see,
this
courting is different because you're
But until you
you're
verbalize
trying to-
this
you're
is what
trying
it means
yeah,
to
that's
you,
intentional.
until you verbalize that this is what this word
Right.
means to you, it
Yeah.
could mean different things. So
That's
it just
true.
comes
That's
down
true.
to
That's
talking.
true.
But I will say, I think it's important to define the terms for yourself.
Yeah.
Like we're struggling here, so it's like when you're actively
Emphasis.
doing it, you better know what you're doing,
Right.
So that you don't play somebody else or someone else doesn't play you. I think if we don't start that road intentionally, with knowing you don't have to necessarily have a conversation like what do you define as talking, but I gotta know for me, because as you go further in, it's so much more important to know what you're doing and being intentional, whether it's
You
just
gotta
to
talk
get to
about
know
that.
or to marry.
So I have a question for the guys, because this usually happens to y'all. Have y'all ever had the what are we?
I was about to just bring
your
that
mind.
point up.
I'm
I was
screaming.
about to
How
bring
does
that point up.
that ever happen to you?
What
Like,
is this?
It's like
because
the-
how do you, I think that's the thing is like in this day and age, like I feel like, and I also feel like these terms go different for generations because my mom thinks of dating as like when they date hard. They
Yeah,
be out
somebody's
like,
together,
mid,
like
like,
they
you know,
together.
like boom, boom, like I'm going here on Friday, I'm going. But that's to them because
They grew up in a
they grew up
different
in a time when that was what dating was. Like you are kind of playing the field and you're going to see what's out there. But for us, I feel like
I think we made it more casual.
yes.
So-
But
Because
what
of
was Rugged's?
access,
I
I
want to
feel.
hear.
But yeah, so what are we?
So and that's the thing is because
stressed already.
like that. No.
What'd you say, Julie? What'd you say?
She's stressed already.
No, but it's like it's either like it's like the what are we? Yeah, it's like what are we? And I don't like. So it should never get to that point. It should never get to a point where you're like, well, I'm all the way in this and I'm so invested or I like you so much, but I don't even know what we are. That is a terrible place to be because it's like, oh, and the guy could just say, oh, I mean, I'm just chilling. I thought we was just kind of
that's what
hanging
y'all
out.
say.
And
I
that's-
thought,
yeah.
I thought,
That's what y'all do.
I mean, not all.
Not all.
I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
some. Yeah.
Not all.
It's the hands for me.
You know what I'm saying? But like, nah, but that's sometimes.
But I don't think, I'm sorry, I don't think that is even a bad thing for a guy to say, I'm just chilling. because then it's like, well,
If you just chilling, I need
whoever it
to-
is, yeah,
I
like
need to-
you have to be honest. Like
Wow,
you
wow,
have to be honest about where you are. It's not even. I think we sometimes demonize the person that says,
I'm good over here.
I'm just chilling.
Yeah.
But no, it's not a bad thing.
No.
But
He's being
before you
honest.
give
She's
of
being
yourself,
honest.
you better clarify. Before you start spilling all of your
Come on.
background and all your
Hello?
secrets, you better clarify. So
And no.
I don't think that's bad to be like, I'm chilling.
And that's what I'm saying. I just think that it needs to be on the same route because it's sometimes you'll see sometimes a girl like, girl, what y'all? Yeah, I was out with my man. You know, we was da da da. And then the dude gets on the phone. He like, yeah, what you man? I was chilling with Shorty real quick. Yeah, like, and it's like there's two different things because there's a lack of communication. So I've definitely been hit with that, but also at the same time where I was hit with that was on the part of like the lack of communication on my end
Yeah,
and
I was
hers.
gonna ask that.
Like I'm like, I didn't go and openly say, hey, so you know we're just talking and this is the vibes and this is what's happening, boom, boom, boom. It's like I thought it was kind of understood and boom. And
But why
like,
do you think? Why do sometimes men and women alike think that things are understood?
because it was a basic conversation we had. We didn't go like it was just kind of like, hey, you know what you look? Oh, I'm not really looking at a relationship, but like I'm enjoying. We have conversations on the phone. It's light. Everything's cool. In my book, everything's cool. In her book, it's like I didn't know she was kind of like building a relationship right there. Like it was kind of like she didn't let me know that part. And so she pops up and like, so what's
are
going
we?
on? Yeah. So I was just like.
So speaking of like moving, so like once you're in a relationship, and I think I would love to hear Willie's component because you made it, sis. You made it to the Super Bowl.
You made it to the Super Bowl.
So,
That's funny, isn't
but
it?
how do you make the like? When do you feel like the conversations about wanting to be married, wanting to be engaged, should be had? And like when is, or like, because I feel like what I've heard from a lot of my female friends is like they're at the space now where they're like, if you're not looking for a wife, like you should just carry on. Like they are dating with the intent to be, and they're looking for a spouse. But not everybody's looking for that. Some people are just looking for a little something during cuddle season. You know, it's getting a little cold. They want to snuggle from now until like right before Valentine's Day. Because if you with me on Valentine's Day,
It's
you're my
dangerous.
man. Like,
It's dangerous.
Dangerous.
I need
so,
a gift.
you know what I'm saying? So when do you think those conversations be had once you're in a monogamous relationship? Like, do you feel like it'd ever be too soon? Or do you feel like people should just be upfront? Like, nah, like this is what I'm looking for and be intentional. Like,
I mean, I feel like every single person should be like, no matter what you want, this is what I'm looking for. Like,
Absolutely.
This is my box. Do you fit in here? Not like this is my shape. All right, let me see how I can change to try to get in. No.
I
It's
agree
like,
with
but
that, 100%.
sometimes we're so afraid, like we have this
Yeah, you gotta be
FOMO,
honest.
and like we will like, all right, I'm gonna try to shape shift so I can fit somebody else's thing,
child.
because I do not want to be by myself. But it's like, yo, all you need is yourself, and the rest will come and find you. Like, but it's gonna find you, not someone else, because some people get so hyped for relationships, they end up getting in that relationship, and they're like, oh my
lose
God, now I'm
themselves.
trying to get out, because you wanted a relationship, not that person. You know what I'm saying? And like that's
So because now, I think there comes a point though where you do have to be able to shift.
to get there.
Right. I think, you know, in my experience, we dated and then we actually broke up for a significant period. And I know God was working on both of us because there were some things that he needed to break and change about, like I know for me, there were some things that had I have been like I was when I first met Bruce, I'd have missed out on this life that we have together because I was so resistant. So I don't know, it's like, where is that line where you say, okay, maybe I do need to shift. Like I'm comfortable enough to shift. You have your non-negotiables, but like at what point do you decide, okay, maybe there are some changes that I need to make, either to be with this person, to be with this person.
Are y'all going to the same place?
Oh.
Because then that's gonna be the difference in all that. Because like you're not changing like, oh, let me change me and do this right now to be for this person. No, where am I going and where are you going? Where this it's a partnership, it's a journey. It's not just like got a relationship now, boom. Like that's not it. It's like we're growing, we're learning, we're evolving together. Like that's the biggest part of it. It's that like that's why I use a sports analogy, because it's you have a teammate. You know what I'm saying? You have somebody to grow and go through this journey with. Yes, there's adversity, there's these other things, but you just got worked on. So I think that like you shouldn't like necessarily change yourself, but you're gonna have to adjust along the way.
Would it throw you off if you were dating someone in the early stages and they're discussing things like marriage and they're like, this is what I want, this is what, like, would that, and I feel like it's more so, no shade, but like a question for guys, because I feel like y'all are the only people, as a woman, I think that that's attractive if a man is very intentional, but for guys, I feel like if you're not ready for that, or if that wasn't on your radar, that can be alarming in and of itself.
I think I feel like if anybody gets turned off by conversations that are serious about anything relationship oriented, then you probably aren't ready for a relationship, because I shouldn't turn you off by asking about your life goals. Do you plan on having kids? Do you want to be married? Like, just things that you would have to do in unison with somebody. I don't think that should be, what's your religion? Like, I feel like those things should not be like, oh, it's the first date. Like, hold on, slow down, homegirl. Like, it's like, you have invested your time to be here with this person to figure out them. So if you know that things like children, marriage, religion are, something that they don't want, it don't fit in the same box, then there's no point in you wasting, you guys' time. Like, those conversations should be had the next month. Like, that's just wasteful. Because then it's like, well, I got feelings now, and now I'm going to try to alter myself to fit myself into your box, knowing full on well that we don't even align. But because I already invested some time, maybe I should just stay here. And I feel like that happens with a lot of people. They try to make it work when it's like, if they would have had those uncomfortable conversations up front, you would have never tried to fit your box into another person's. You would have just been like, okay, this was a nice outing. I don't think this is a good fit.
So
And that's
practical
it.
question.
Then leave.
Do y'all, in your dating experience recently, like, do y'all mention this stuff? And if you don't, or you haven't, why haven't you? Because I think we can all, in some ways, agree that, like, we should have these conversations up front. But the reality is, we don't.
I've had these conversations.
And
I'm pretty much I'll be asking a bunch of things. I just be like,
and how do people respond?
The people, so like, of course, like the people that I was interested in, some of them, like as far as like religion is concerned, like it's like, oh, no this, or like, oh, let's not talk about that. And that's a red flag to me, because, and then me and that person never even ended up being in any type of relationship. But as far as like anybody that I've actually been with, like those conversations weren't a turn off. It was an insight on their, mindset, what their beliefs were, or mine. And I haven't had any issues with that, because that's just a point of being transparent. And they actually enjoy having those conversations. And most time I get the feedback like, oh, people don't like, talk about this. But it's like the conversations that you need to have to decide if this is the direction that we want to go in.
So what about y'all?
I feel like, yes, I have done that. I have brought that up like in the onset of a relationship. And I'm glad that I did that, because at least from these set of topics, it was like we on the same page, and then we can figure out stuff from there. Also, like, I think it's important to just like know what you want. Yeah. And then also it's like, if I see somebody, there's a way for me to get to know, like, okay, this young lady, what she thinks on this, what she thinks on that, without me taking her out one-on-one. Like, it could be a group of people, and certain topics, what I'm saying, could have these conversations.
I'm an advocate for group dating.
Yes.
And then you, off the strength of that, you can know what somebody's head is on. And back to group dating though, like.
That's important,
that's
because
Yeah.
like, or be like,
See them
like
by themselves.
But with other people, yeah.
I have
you
circles that.
You act like that? You act
I
like
think
that?
that's one too many. Thank you. Like,
No, but I also feel like, especially if you have close relationships with your friends, you have got to, I gotta see how, plus also like, I gotta see how you do, because like, oh shit, my friends are, no shit, my friends are wild a little bit, and they gonna come at you with some crazy stuff, and I got, y'all are something else. No, but they are, and I think it's more so because, as women, I think female friends are aggressive because you want what's best for your girl, and if I catch any whiff of you playing games, I need to out it now.
Marcus,
No, real talk. But I feel like
sometimes
if I
you gotta
you,
separate them from their friends,
if
because
I
they can see
know,
what's
but
right for them.
I mean, that's true.
So, I don't like that
Sometimes
though.
you gotta separate them from their friends.
Be
I
careful
ain't
with that
marrying her
separating
friends,
them.
I'm marrying her.
You know,
You
but
hear me,
see,
Marcus?
I
ain't marrying
I
a
don't
friend
like
group.
that, because
I'm
at the end of the
marrying
day,
her.
if you're trying to take me, that's a red flag to me. If you're trying to take me away from because here's the thing. Real talk,
I'm not
as a
saying that, like,
friend, as a female friend, the way I am here, baby. You are trying to get here. I ain't going nowhere. So you gotta watch that kind of mentality, because I know,
What I'm saying is-
No, he's
in.
saying sometimes your friends cannot be good for you,
That's
and
exactly-
he needs
they
to
can be
put you
toxic.
in a new
I can't
environment.
They can
But-
be
but-
toxic for you.
Good,
My
Marcus.
friends are
Marcus
great.
has an anecdotal.
But that's the biggest thing. I've seen
tier.
so many times where
Guys are
sometimes
I'm screaming.
someone's friends, it could be man or woman.
Yeah.
Someone's friends messes it up for them.
Exactly.
Like, for
Because they-
example, I've
Case in
seen,
point.
That can happen.
But
to you off the
I want to hear
onset.
his story.
Case in point.
But I've seen, and no,
happened to
it's
you?
very important. One, I think it's important that you date someone with you and them one-on-one. Then you also take them around friends. You take them around other people. See how they
Family,
act.
et cetera, yeah.
Because then, like,
You gotta vet people.
you know, yeah, you definitely do. Then I'm like, yo, hang around my boys, this, that, and the third. How do you handle like being around them? Are you, when you get around other people, are you craving attention or what's happening? Like, I want to see all those things. But also at the same time, you have to you want to see that person's friends because you want to see their flock. Like, if you come in, you hang around me, and then you like, oh yeah, I'm gonna hang out with you. And then like I introduce you to my boys and they are wild and disrespectful. You're gonna be like, so you're the only saint in the group?
Yeah.
Like, you're gonna be like, so
Why are you still here?
you know, exactly. It's like you said you were going there, but you still over here. Like that's how are you planning to stay here? So that's very important too, because then it's like I want to be able to trust you and like be cool with like you going out, but like also I know when you hang with that group,
Yeah, it's a.
I don't know
What happens?
what's what.
I mean, that's true.
But then also people are people are allowing their friends too much to make decisions for them or hype up or put pictures in
Yeah,
their
no, you
mind.
gotta keep-
Girl, there go your man right there. Girl, what your man over there doing? He need to da-da-da. And then I've seen women go then approach somebody like, what you over here doing with like this, that, and the third? And he like, what
my
are
cousin.
we?
But I feel like that. I guess I can't relate because like I think that does speak, but you got to know your circle. Like I don't think you bring a potential partner around everybody. You got to have your vetting group. Like I have a specific group of people that if I were to want to bring somebody around them, they are I call them my board of directors. Like they know me the best. They have my best interests at heart, and they're not gonna come at you crazy. Like even in my family, if I were if I were to bring somebody home, there are certain people that you can't meet off the break because they're so abrasive, it might throw you. And I don't know what they're gonna say out their mouth. You know exactly who you are, cousin, and I love you. But
That's funny.
He knows. He knows who he is. And he's probably, if he's watching this, he'll be like, it's me. Like, because he coming with the questions. Like, he's the type to be like, are you sleeping with my cousin? Like, right? So like, you don't want to bring somebody around those level of people until you know what you are, because to your point, that could throw somebody off. But I also feel like, friendship, that's another episode. That's a whole nother conversation, because you do have to, I do want to see who you roll with. My question to you is, because I heard you say something. So once you are in a relationship, do you feel like people in relationships, like, you know how they say, like, Willie knows I get it, like people in relationships, like hanging around their single friends, or do you feel like once you're in a relationship, you should try to, not obviously, because you can't monitor another man's life or another person's life, but do you feel like you should start to watch who you hang with when you're in a relationship? Like if your girl, you've been dating your girl and all her single friends is go to Miami, like does that give you a little, because everybody else in her,
It depends on her friends, because like this is the thing, you can have some friends that's like, every time y'all go somewhere, she always got to find the football players, the NFL, the NBA guys. She always trying to be in somebody's, like, I'm gonna be like, and y'all going to Miami, like, I'm like, you know that she's going to, like, she has to be in that situation. So I'm going to think, but those are conversations that I would want to have before you tell me you're going to Miami. I want to be able to know, like, all right, so if you were Letitia and she trying to go over here and like, Letitia? I'm just like, but if you were and she over and y'all go down here, what do you think I'm gonna think? Like you know what I'm saying? Because you know what I'm saying? Let's be real.
I feel like, okay, so people have their certain subset of friends, but I feel like if you're in a relationship with somebody, you have to be secure in that relationship. I don't think that. Like, I would be like, oh, because my boyfriend has a subset of single friends and they could be wild. Like, clearly I saw something in my partner that was completely different from his friends, and I'm secure enough to know that if he cares about the relationship,
He'll
then he will
conduct
go
himself
wherever he goes. He
appropriately.
will respect me, and that's just that on that. Like, I'm not gonna go somewhere if I had friends who could be a part of they're looking for the NFL or just wild or whatnot. Like, I don't carry myself to be as such, so why am I then going to change who I am as an entire person, my values, because of the location or the people that I'm around? Like, you just need to, so if you have a flip-floppy person who is one way around certain subset of people and different around another, then I can see why you might question the relationship when they go somewhere. But if you have a person that's the same person all the way around, I'm not gonna feel no type of way, because at the end of the day, you can't stop a person from doing something that they want to do. They made a choice to do whatever it is. So I'm not going to sit and think about what somebody's gonna do in a different state or around a different bunch of people, single or not, because I don't control them, and I got into a relationship with them because I trusted them. It's up to you to break my trust.
So I have a question, kind of piggybacking off of that. So you have this person, you trust them, y'all are in this relationship. How do you prevent the rose-colored lenses phenomenon?
What do you mean?
Where you are now seeing your partner, because especially when you're starting to approach thinking about marrying them, they are the best thing since sliced bread, but you have on rose-colored lenses. Let's just be real. There are blind spots that you could have. I think we're all prone to have. So what do you do once you have crossed that threshold? You're committed to this person, but to make sure that your eyes are open to the flaws that this person has, to the flaws that you have. Like, what kind of safeguards do you put in place?
I think the most important thing to that is to not sleep with that person, because that will keep your mind focused on the person and the character and the spirituality of it. But I feel like when the flesh gets involved, it's just real easy to just look over things. So that's what I would say.
I'm a little bit different. I feel like it kind of goes back to what you said earlier, Austin, that know what you want. And if you're displaying characteristics or you're doing things that I don't like.
We can agree that at the end of the day, the person you're with has flaws.
Right.
Right? So, but when you are think about a relationship that you've been in where you were like, I love whoever. What do you do to keep yourself from being blind to the flaws that inevitably are there, that exist? So for me, group dating. So that was one thing that when I think about group dating, it's not so much for me to see how they interact with other people, but for the other people to see me and to see him and to give me some feedback on things that they may see that
you don't see because
I have the rose-colored lenses on.
So for me, it was just a toxic situation for me. I was in a toxic situation, and luckily, my friends were around telling me, "Hey, bro, you tripping? This not you. Yo, wake up!" It was kind of
what you think it is.
And so that was the biggest thing. Is also, there's times when, now this is where friends come in handy. It's times where you have your friends, and it's like, I need to date this person to get to know them for myself. But then I do need to bring in my counsel to make sure I'm not tripping. Because if everything could seem, oh, this is so great, but your friend be like, yo, it's really not great, and this isn't you. And then I'm like, huh? Then I look in the mirror and I'm like, wow, thank you. And so getting to know somebody, but then if it's serious, hey, I need to call them a second opinion. Yeah.
So speaking of moving towards marriage and engagement, do you feel like it's men's responsibility to be clear about where a relationship was going in order to not lead a woman on? Or is it mutual? Because a lot of people, women don't know when they're gonna get engaged. That's not traditionally. I'm not Chrissy.
Oh wait, wait. Say the question again.
So do you feel like it's a man's responsibility to keep the pace of a relationship and to keep a woman abreast of where things are going and to keep that up front, as to not lead her on, so that things can move forward?
Especially
when you're
the
trying
expectation
to,
is he's going to propose to her,
I just
and
think-
not the other way around.
I think
who's doing that?
It's clear communication.
I know some people.
They ain't
But
none of my
that's-
business. And that's nothing on
I
nobody.
think
You won't see Julia Sims
it's a
on
man's-
No Knee Unless I Fail.
It's a
and I'm
man's
about to
place
get right
to
back up.
propose. I do not like. I'm just not a fan of seeing women.
I don't
getting
think they
down
should be
on,
doing that. Why
stuff
are they
like that.
doing
Like,
that?
I don't.
Why not?
What do you
Because
mean? That's
I'm
not
like-
what just
It's not,
happened.
it's not proper.
It's not
Because
I love that. It's not proper.
not
That's
That's the best way. That's
That's
the best way to say
beautiful.
it.
It's not
because it's
proper.
like because this is my thing. There's a lot of women that if that was the case would be married instantly because it's like
Heck yeah.
it's kind of like so and it's like do you want marriage or do you want this and I'm like if he hasn't done it yet I'm like it's just natural and it's gone in that way where the man is supposed to take that leap.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's I feel like and also
Gender roles
if you know
have to be
but if
established are important.
and if you know if you and if
Austin is
not for real.
letting
But
down
like,
the law.
if you know it's like, okay, we're here, this, that, and the third. This is like, we both know
Yeah,
we've
with
been talking
Marcus.
about marriage, we talking about things like that. We know around this time, it's like, it's the man's job. Let him go ahead and take care of that. He should be on it to take care of that.
You can't tell me
If a
that.
woman you was dating, you were like, we're gonna get married. She proposed to you, would you say no?
He would say no.
I
I'm
would
100. He would think it's a
I
joke.
would bust out laughing and I'll be like, get up. And I'll be laughing. I'm like, come on, I want to see you. Come on, we gonna get in the car and talk about this. But like, I'm gonna be like, listen, hold off, cause don't you dare. Like,
You can't.
Like, I'm gonna surprise you in the next couple of days.
You
Like,
can't tell me.
Austin, what do you think?
I don't agree with that women should do that.
So your homeschool fiance should not take the steps.
Sweet
My
Oh,
homeschool
that's funny as a
fiance.
mug, Julia.
The woman that I would be with would never do that. I can tell you that.
Oh, Austin is, I want to be so confident in the spouse the guy has. But he said she wouldn't.
She wouldn't
never
do that. She has
Why
too
not?
much
Why-
self-confidence.
Like,
Yeah.
Too much, you know what I'm saying?
There's
She
some-
knows her worth.
You can't
You
tell
don't
me
know
that
me.
any
You know
female
what I'm
that's
saying?
done that is happy with doing that.
Right.
Like you can't because I'm pretty sure in your head you're probably like, did he even want to marry me?
Cause that's my
that
thought.
had to be a
That's
thought.
your
That
thought.
had to be a
What if
And you
thought.
had
do
to
it.
get your ring.
And I wouldn't
get
want
on
to take a
your
ring
knee.
like, okay.
I
like,
don't think
Willie,
it's
are you
fair.
serious right now? Are you defending
Do I put
this?
my hand
No,
up?
no, that's not what I'm saying. I'm just thinking about because
Exactly.
I know some women. No,
Ooh,
I'm not doing
child.
that. But I know some women
Well,
who
you
are
don't have
very
to say-
confident, very like.
Did they do it though? That's
yeah,
the question.
they did it, and they're married, and they've been married for a minute
But
now,
did you
several
talk to them
years.
offline and
But-
see if
but
they were
no,
happy about that decision?
No, she's happy. Like I don't think it's
But there's
fair.
not. Do you feel like there's a part of her that feels
think
like
that,
for me?
like-
Because I would just feel like, did you really?
Maybe I'm closed-minded, but ain't no
This
way.
is-
No,
this
no,
is
no,
why.
I
This
don't
is why I think. I think it's why this. Because like as a man, it's like we're hunters.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? We want to see
catching your deer for
we want to
you.
see a woman.
Gather
And we want to be
me.
like, look, this woman is she's amazing. She's not easy to get.
Yeah.
And we want to have the satisfaction of going after her,
And getting her
courting
yourself.
her,
Chucking the spear.
talking to the cousin that's asking the hard questions. You know, we come in there with our cologne on, real chill, and we
chill.
sit back and we answer questions. You know what I'm saying? And we pass to the next round, and then that ultimate step.
Bend the knee.
I was just talking to one of my homies. You know what I'm saying? Like, when you go and get the ring, you feel me? You go and do
Yeah.
X, Y, Z, like that's all important things. You can't take that away from somebody. That's part of life.
Do you think so? For the ladies, do you think that?
Oh, you might have stole my question.
So because I think a lot of the women that are willing to do that, they also believe in fluid gender roles,
Not
right?
that fluid.
So where do you draw them? Is there a line
That's
to
my
be
line.
drawn? Like, and I say that to say, like, do you think that it's hypocritical? That's a strong word, but I can't think of another word. Is it hypocritical to say, well, nah, he has to propose, but I need him to be comfortable doing this and that?
Let me answer this. Let me answer this.
Hey, okay,
because
sis.
I have something to say.
Go ahead, go
So-
Like it's hot. Yeah, look.
The men in my life are leaders, and I like to follow them. That's what my man, is supposed to be doing. If the man is the head of my household, I'm following him. So I'm not going to create my own household by proposing to said man. That doesn't make any sense to me.
She's spitting. I
And
like
so
what
when
you're
you get
saying.
into
I like that.
when you get into the roles of your marriage, do you think that they are fluid? Do you think that they are because
I think-
what I'm hearing is there are specific gender roles.
But
in the
I don't think
context
this.
of-
I don't think this is. A,
I don't think
thi-
that-
I
I
don't
think
think this
that's
is. A, gen- I don't think a man leading is a gender role. I
No.
think that's what a man is supposed to do. I don't think that. I don't. Maybe you might say because I say that's what a man's supposed to do is a gender role. But I just feel like the man is the leader. Adam was here before Eve. I'm not understanding how I'm going to get on my knee and propose to a man who was made first. It don't make no sense to me.
That's where she come from. Give me the
So
scripture.
I'm not.
From the red
My
baby.
question is, so when you get into your marriage,
When we get into my marriage,
do you believe that there's
it will be a
gender roles?
communication. My marriage will be based off the relationship that we should have. I'm not going based off.
Expectations that do you have beliefs that only the man is supposed to do?
No, I think that when me and my husband discuss what we decide to do, that's between me and my husband to discuss. But I will
So you
not.
don't believe in gender roles in the context of marriage?
I don't think that exists, because if my husband feels comfortable with doing something and I vice versa, I think that's the roles that we set amongst ourselves in our
when
relationship.
there's a major decision that needs to be made, and
We
you
make
and
it
your
to- we make it together
you and
to
your
communicate.
husband completely disagree. Who do you think makes the ultimate decision?
Ooh. That's
If there are
a-
no gender roles.
Hold on.
And this is I mean, you know.
Well,
I
okay.
have
Well,
answered the
I mean,
question.
honestly, this is a trick question to me anyway, because if we're communicating on an issue, then if I say no, my opinion goes, and he says no, my opinion goes, then now the communication is gone, the compromise is gone.
No, but if you can't make because there have been decisions
But
in our marriage where you can't.
Well, I don't
something
know.
has to be
You
done.
have Willie. You would have to give me an example, because I'm not married yet, and I don't know what decision will happen that I
so-
can't.
And that's wisdom to
But
know
let me
that
take
you
a s-
come on.
Let me take a
Go
stab
ahead.
at that question. I
She
do
said,
believe
I don't know.
I believe in gender roles in marriage, and they go back to the gender roles that were established in Genesis.
In the
terms
Bible, it's
of,
first chapter.
yeah, so in terms of man
It's a
being
good
the
book.
it's a very good book.
Stick it up.
Yes, yes.
If you ain't reading it, baby,
It's a
crack
very
that
good
thing
book.
open.
But I believe in the general gender roles of like man as being the protector, the provider, and the priest of the family, right? And it's his role to like navigate his family and his children through life following God and help them do that. So in general, and then the woman's job is to, in general, like I said, you know, nurture the children, right? And help the man, you feel me, in general. Now, what that could look like specifically is totally diverse. Because like when we look at Psalms, and we look at Proverbs 31, she's doing all that stuff, and she's doing all this other stuff. She got her business, she's doing this, that, and the third. So she's like flourishing in these other areas of her life, kind of autonomously apart from her husband and the family. Now, when it comes to like specifically in, like between you and your husband, just like Julia said, like I feel like that comes down to just like how you communicate it. But to your point, when it comes down to a question of you gotta do X, Y, Z, and it's like the husband and wife don't agree on it, right? I remember this man, he was wise, he told me this, he said, there's probably gonna be like, you know what I'm saying, 0.9% of problems that come down to we disagree on it. We can't talk it through. And on those, me as the man, as the head of the household, I have to make that decision. So I believe that the man makes that decision, and whether it's for better or for worse, that's just how it goes.
No, because it's the
And
worst.
But
I
that
don't
said,
know.
do you see how small
I,
of
but
a
I,
percentage
I
of the
want
questions
someone
those
to
are?
give me an example and let me decide what the answer will be.
You got,
Can
you
somebody
wanna buy
throw
a
me
house,
something?
buy a house or not buy a house?
This we're gonna do. Ooh.
To buy a house or not buy a house?
That's a good question.
I mean, it doesn't. It's,
That's a good question.
To me, it's not financially suitable to be renting. Like you can invest that money into
But
a
I'm
house.
saying,
And
say you
he's
disagree
saying,
on
like,
it.
This is the decision.
Yeah.
Either we're buying this or
we're not.
Or we're moving or we're not.
Right.
I
we're
mean, I
moving
feel
or
like
we're
that's
not.
so vague. We can have many different conversations.
No,
on
but
it.
if y'all are completely
you've
disagree,
already come to the point
either
where you
you're gonna do
disagree
this
on it.
or
Yeah.
you're not.
I mean, if it's given, are we going to agree on this? Now, it seemed like it might be their own problem, and I'm offering my feedback. Because if it's something that's clear throat as we're doing this, it can't be a weird thing if two people oppose so wholeheartedly. It could
But
be.
it-
But
No,
if there's a man, like
I
again,
don't
because
get
if a
that.
man's if he's the head of the household, this, that, and the third, and work reasons, finance, we're taking
gonna
this move, and we're moving.
You're like, I'm not.
But there's
But
ways.
my man will not. That won't be the thing. Like I mean,
It happens though.
It does.
But so,
happens.
but where were the conversations? Because I'm confused.
The
But at a
conversation
certain
is
point,
like
there is no
you know,
conversation because it's like we have to make a decision, and I, as a leader,
So I want
I'm
to know
saying
what
we're
happened
going
in our
here.
life that we just had to make a decision right now, and it ain't
No,
working
there
for
are
nobody.
conversations leading up to that.
The point is
You know what I'm
after the
saying?
conversations. Now that y'all have had multiple
Why can't somebody
conversations,
just give me an
y'all
example?
going back. We said it like
That
you're gonna
buy
move-
to buy a house or not buy a house?
Okay,
Are we
so
serious?
I'll
That's
wrap
the
it up. I'll
that's
wrap it
the
up.
thing.
You're either
Let me wrap it up. Let me just put a little bow on it. I'll have some scripture. You know I like scripture, guys.
You read
Okay.
that Bible,
Yeah, it's a good book.
that
y'all.
KJV.
Wait, can I say something real quick?
Go ahead, get it out, sis.
Just to your point, Austin, from the Bible, you know, provide, protect. I feel like women can provide, protect the finances. I feel like each person,
Absolutely.
man or female, could hint to those parts. So I just wanted to make that
Yeah.
known.
So I'm gonna take us to 1 Thessalonians 5:11. It says,
God
therefore,
made those distinctions in the
encourage
beginning. for
one
a
another.
reason.
Also, you won't let me read my scripture.
I just
Screaming.
had to say that, you know, to respond to what she said. You know what I mean?
Only on the well, child. All right, so 1 Thessalonians 5:11, it says, therefore, encourage one another and build one another up just as you are doing. And also, Psalms 37:4, delight yourself in the Lord and he will give you the desire of your hearts. I think that when it comes to dating, marriage, anything, if you focus on God, then in these difficult situations, then in these times, in all of these things, when trying to move from talking to dating and dating to engagement and engagement to marriage and marriage to house and house to baby, whatever it is, if you align yourself with God and what he has for you, he will illuminate the answers in the difficult situations or provide you the faith to sustain that whoever makes that final decision has ultimately done it with the clarity and the guidance that they need. So with that being said, this was amazing conversation like it always is. We always run out of time, guys, and I just want to.
I still want an
She
example.
says,
Yeah.
don't date Sims if you aren't ready to argue. Just kidding.
I'm
So,
screaming.
With that being said, we will be back to you in 2 weeks like we always was. We want you to join us. This is a continuing conversation. Thank you for being a part of our dating series. Thank you for giving us some of your holiday week. We hope that you guys have a great time as we get ready, for eating season. But yeah, this has been The Well. We'll see y'all in 2 weeks.
Bye.